Do you know those environmental films that teach us that the world is getting worse? You know, the ones that have tornadoes, hurricanes, global warming, all that shit? What if there was an actual film with actors and a basic plot? Yeah, I'd have the same reaction too. Actually, this film is quite different. It doesn't teach us on how to make the world better, it just teaches us how nature is going to get back at us. Did I mention that M. Night Shyamalan directed this movie? You know, the guy who directed that film 80% of people liked, another film that I personally liked more, and a film that didn't have a twist ending but it was good anyway. You know, the guy who directed that film with a dumbass premise and a dumbass twist ending, that other film that had a worse premise and a worse twist ending, and a movie that was also known as The Abomination. Yeah. This movie is up there with the bad ones. The premise is about nature getting back at the world. How? A slight breeze actually comes by people which makes them stop in their tracks, making them kill themselves. One time there's a breeze that crashes through the streets, and after someone shoots themselves with a gun, one by one somebody would pick up that gun and shoot themselves in the head. I don't know what twisted individual would have a gun on themselves at all times, but this does take place in America. Also, I don't know how the whole street killing themselves with a gun thing would work, considering a gun has a certain amount of bullets. So Mark Wahlberg, his girlfriend, and his friend's daughter get out of the city before nature kills them. Wow, I never thought I'd ever say those words before. Nature is killing people. Can you say that with a straight face? A confused one, probably. I don't know whose idea for this plot was. It's probably Al Gore, since he was fed up with the world. Go green! Use less electricity! Be solar power! Otherwise nature will kill us all in different ways we can't even imagine! So let me get this straight. A slight breeze makes people stop dead in their tracks, and they go ahead and somehow kill themselves. There are not enough drugs in the world to make that kind of shit up. And so it did make it up! So the protagonists are running away from nature, going from house to hide in order to get away from the wind that is killing everybody. And there's no way of stopping it! On top of that, Mark Wahlberg talks to a plant. I'm gonna repeat that because I didn't hear that properly. Mark Wahlberg talks to a plant. Why? The plants outside are trying to kill you, not the plants inside! I know it's common to talk to plants whenever they need to grow, but this is supposed to be taken seriously! It's like doing a movie about murderous cats and dogs and someone ends up talking to a kitten! Like a fucking plant! Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense? Who was the writer of this movie, and what drugs and how many drugs do they take in order to say that this was gonna be a good premise? Nature killing people. I understand if it was hurricanes, tornadoes, all that shit. But fucking wind, are you serious? And you know, after all those suicides, all that running away from the wind, all the build-up leading up to, nothing. We have no way of knowing on how the wind is making people commit suicide. We shall have no fucking idea on how that shit's supposed to work. Technically, you could say that some plants are giving some sort of thing that makes people kill themselves when released in the wind. But that's still stupid. Hell, even the wind is inconsistent! At the end, there are no suicide winds in America anymore. But that wind goes to Paris. Everybody except one person stands still. Question, how is that possible? An unavoidable wind that makes people commit suicide passes everybody! And even though it would pass that person, it doesn't affect them? Explain to me how the fuck that's possible! This movie is bad! It's not the worst of the Shyamalan directed movies, but it's still pretty bad. It's a stupid premise that doesn't make sense at all! But I will give the movie this, the deaths are really good. The suicides in this movie, I'll admit, are fucking haunting. Yeah, it does come from something that's completely stupid, but the deaths are the only good part in this movie. I don't think there were supposed to be any suicides in this movie. I think the extras who die in this movie actually suggested these deaths because they didn't want to work with a director that would direct an abomination.